But here's the big idea that people miss is they don't realize that everything, let's say you have a vision board, you have dreams, you have goals, you have written down.
Yep.
Everything on that list will come true on the other side of two things.
Hmm. Dan Martel, welcome to the show.
I'm honored to be here, Justin. Thanks for having me.
We're here in the Greatness Factory here in Nashville with Coach Michael Burt's studio here. So this is awesome. Glad to be here. Now, I watched a lot of your story and millionaire at 27 and from Wall Street Journal, best-selling author, coaching thousands of people all over the world now. But looking back at your early days, people wouldn't have looked at you and said, man, he's destined for greatness. So what was the shift? Give us your story. Where were you? And what was the mindset shift that took place to get you to where you
It's
are?
an awesome question. And I'm laughing because I immediately thought of my best friend Mike and Dan's mom telling me I wasn't allowed to be in their yard.
Really?
Dude, I used to have to hang out on the sidewalk and like I
Was
don't
you
even
a
do
bad influence?
what she thought. I mean, I probably gave her reasons to think that. So to look at to even think about, that moment of just feeling absolutely rejected,
Mm,
right? Because like I can't this is before cell phones or anything. So I'm like standing there hoping that they see me out
mm,
their front window,
right.
like I can't throw rocks, I'd break a window or whatever. So like to go from that to hiding in the woods just to play with my friends,
Mm,
to drug addiction, to having my whole life come to a standstill when I got into a high speed chase
mm.
and almost taking my life.
Wow. And how old were you at that point?
17.
17. Yeah.
Yeah. So like looking at everything I went through, a lot of people ask me, was it really that bad? Because
Mm,
I share the story often. And one day I was driving with my buddy and he said that. I called my dad. I put him on speakerphone
mm,
and I said, Dad, I'm sitting with Lowen. And Lowen asked me, was I really that bad as a kid? And my dad said, Hey Lowen, whatever you think it was 10 times worse.
mm.
And
Wow.
today, you know, the life I live where I talk to my dad almost every day, he's my hero.
Mm,
The privilege I have of not only helping the people I work with, but the teams I've built, the companies, my team, my all the folks that support the dreams, to flying around on my jet, to all that stuff,
mm.
rolling up deep with 5 or 6 supercars to go speak to a bunch of kids in a rehab center.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. I've heard you talk about it. You got a McLaren, but you've had what, over 500 kids sit in that. What's the backstory
Yeah.
there?
I mean, my whole thing is I think that if you make it to the top, it's your responsibility to send the elevator back down.
Mm,
And I will just
yeah.
never not dishonor the privilege I've been given. Like I don't take for granted a lot of the kids I ended up, growing up with as a teenager. A lot of them aren't alive right
Mm,
now. And that's
yeah.
just real.
Yeah. And I like something I heard you say before of it's selfish for people to not talk about their wealth.
Oh,
So
100%.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give you a real example. So I train with this guy, Alan. Okay. Alan is 250 pounds, absolutely lean. He's like sculpted out of granite. And he is the reason that I have the physical fitness that I have today. Like in many ways, his discipline and example inspired me. His experience guided me. His coaching and support forced me to become the person physically I am today. And I would say at 44, I look better than most 20-year-olds, and that's just real. Like, you know, 7% body fat, 200 and 15 pounds of lean muscle. So like I'm working out with him one day and I said, dude, why don't you post on social more? And he goes, I don't like social. I said, okay. I said, see that poster of Arnold or this, but he had like literally his gym's got all the posters out.
Right.
Said, did he inspire you? He goes,
Mm,
hell yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I've been inspired by him since I was 7.
Mm,
Exactly. So why are you being so selfish?
wow.
So I learned a long time ago that if you have the opportunity to inspire somebody else, it's actually your duty. And here's what I've learned. Acting small, if you truly want to help somebody else, the most powerful thing you can do is inspire them. And acting small never inspired anybody.
Mm,
So a lot of people that create wealth and act like they're poor are actually really, I have a problem with,
yeah.
because they're doing it because they're worried about what other people are going to say.
Mm,
They're not doing it because they actually don't want other people to win. A lot of wealthy people would love for everybody to get rich.
Mm.
because they go, wow, I can't believe this happened in my life. I'd love to teach everybody, but I'm scared to put it out there because I don't want anybody to judge me for it. So they're essentially acting out of their own fear to not help the people that they say they want to help, but they're actually allowing themselves to block themselves.
Mm.
I have a problem with that.
Right. Now, and I encourage everybody, go follow Dan on Instagram, YouTube channel. I've been binge watching his stuff. I love it. Why is it important to you to invest in building your personal brand, getting this content out there? Is it to inspire that next
It's
generation?
100% that.
Mm.
Like, and what's funny is I would say I dabbled. I was amateur hour at best for a long time.
Mm.
And then I wrote a book and, I would have loved if anybody read it. I didn't, you write a book, you hope people read it.
Right.
And when it came out and it sold almost 20,000 copies in the first 2 weeks
Mm.
because it just hit a nerve in the market, I was like,
Mm.
"Oh, this could be." You know how, like, sometimes we ask God for stuff? You know what I mean? Like, we're like, "Hey, man, could you just help me?" Like, "I really
Absolutely.
like this thing to happen or this."
Yep.
And, I've always wanted to have my life be an example of possibility. Like,
Mm.
that's been 'cause since I got sober, 17, since I've rebuilt my life, since I became a millionaire, I was just like, "Hey, I will 100% honor the fact I've been given this chance,"
Mm.
right? I like to say my work ethic is a reflection of my gratitude.
Yeah.
When people
Mm.
go, "Why do you wake up at 4 in the morning?" I'm like, "Why don't you get up earlier?" I'm not saying 4, but get up earlier. What are you talking about? Like, that intensity is kind of how I look at it. So what happened was when the book came out and I realized that one of the most powerful things I could do was to teach other people the exact strategies that allowed me to be successful.
Mm.
Like, there's a lot of other people who read incredible books. I've read over 1,600 books, but I've literally, for me, for Dan, this is what worked for me. I don't know if it worked for you, but I'm just going to say, these are my results. This is what's unique about it. And I put it in a book and all of a sudden the book takes off.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I need to stop being an amateur about this. Okay.
Mhm.
I need to go pro.
That's right.
But here's the big idea that people miss is they don't realize that everything, let's say you have a vision board, you have dreams, you have goals, you have written down.
Yep.
Everything on that list will come true on the other side of two things.
Mm.
Your reputation. Do you have a good reputation? Some people have not worked on their character, still take advantage of people, still have a lot of shame. You got to work on your reputation. But the second thing is reach.
Mm.
So everything on my vision board, all the stuff I was looking at, it occurred to me one day that if I could just increase my reach, and obviously I think I have a good reputation, then everything I want to accomplish, and a lot of that was impact, serving the kids and doing stuff with people I admire and all this stuff. I was like, everything is there.
Mm.
I just got to go heads down and go pro. Stephen Pressfield wrote a great book called Turning Pro.
Mm.
And it's just like, that's a simple idea. This is an example. This space, the Greatness Factory,
Yeah.
is 100% an example of going pro.
That's right.
This ain't little. This ain't
Yeah.
mediocre. This ain't even good for Nashville.
Mm.
This is world-class level execution.
That's right.
And for me, I'm just like, hey, I need to do that for my content. And that was a big shift. And I just looked at two things: my bank account and my calendar. If you want to tell me what's important to you, show me those two things.
Yeah.
And I will tell you what's important to you. And I looked at those things and I said, well, I'm not deploying enough capital. This is really important. Those are little tiny bets.
Mm.
I spend more money on a lot of other things. Those are tiny bets, and my calendar does not have enough dedication to it.
Right.
Those two things shifted, and that's why I think last month we had 36 million people see our content.
Wow. That's impact right there.
I'm
You
just
can reach
starting.
that many people.
We're just
Yeah.
start.
I love it. Hey, I'm excited to see at this point where it goes
Oh,
from
it's
here.
going.
Now, you mentioned 1,600 books. What
Yeah.
are some of the ones that impacted you? And that's a lot of books.
Yeah, I actually did it's one of my most popular videos on my YouTube channel. I don't know. I just was like, hey, what are the top 10 books out of 1,600?
Wow.
I can tell you right off the bat, because I think reading for me, I call it just in time versus just in case. I think the education system teaches you a lot of stuff that's just in case,
Yeah.
right? Like I don't even know what's called the Pythagorean theory, the one about triangles.
Right.
Dude, I've never used that in my life. Like, but if I was about to go do some triangle designs, like I'd probably want to know it. So
Yeah.
I don't. So
Right.
and it's just, so I think a lot of education is just in case. And for me, it's just in time. So
Mm.
the books that impacted me were the right books at the right time.
Yeah.
So when people say like, hey, Dan, what are you reading? Because they see me post every day on Instagram.
Yeah.
I go, what are you struggling with?
Right.
I'll just, like, you tell me what you need to learn. I'll tell you the book that's going to give you the best chance of learning that. Reading what I'm reading makes no sense.
Yep.
So the books that really impacted my life, I would say right off the bat, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. I was
Yep.
in my mid-20s. That book just I didn't even read it. I listened to it because I have severe ADHD.
Yeah.
So I have to go for a drive in the early days. Now I've gotten better at it,
Mm.
but I go for drives and listen to audiobooks.
Yeah.
But Think and Grow Rich, a lot of big ideas from the book, but my favorite one is just the concept of having a primary aim, right? A
Mm.
definite aim, like
Right.
a chief aim, like, hey man,
Something to go
where are we
for.
going?
Yeah.
And guess what? You're allowed to change your mind.
That's
I
right.
reserve the right. I call them strong opinions loosely held.
Mm.
I'm determined, right? Because I
Yeah.
think confidence is the absence of uncertainty.
Mm.
So I have certainty in forward motion towards that, but I'm confident I'll figure it out, but I don't know actually how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So Think and Grow Rich gave me that and so many other great kind of what I call success strategies,
Yeah.
right? I think that there's three things we need. So out of the books, and I'll map them to it. The
Mm.
first thing I think we need is a success strategy. So
Yep.
for me, that came from Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
The next one, the naked. Now I got some weird stuff on my brain. The next one would be a people strategy,
Mm.
and that came from How to Win Friends.
Yeah.
Right, Dale Carnegie.
Yep.
And that one really taught me this simple concept of being interested more than interesting.
Mm.
A lot of people that don't have confidence, right? They go out to a dinner, they sit
Mhm.
down, they don't say a word. Why? They don't feel like they're as successful as the other people at the table.
Right.
Hey, man, it's not about being successful because now you're focused on trying to be interesting. Flip
Mm.
it, try to be interested.
Right.
So all I've gotten good at over the years is being absolutely maniacally interested in every other person's dreams, goals, and story.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yeah.
I want to know your
Yeah.
story. I want to know what you're after.
Absolutely.
And then the third strategy is around relationships, right?
Mm.
Or there's the people. So success, people. Oh, money, the money mindset stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I call them money blockers, money scripts, money blueprints. Man, so many people have some really wacky beliefs around money
Mhm.
that even if they get it, that belief will cause them to lose it.
Right. Yeah.
We all know those people,
For
right?
sure.
Like one of my mentors said to me once, he said, it's not about making money, it's about keeping it.
Mm.
Making it's actually easy.
Right.
Keeping it, different game. So the
Yeah.
best book on that would be T. Harv Ecker's book called the Mind of the Millionaire Mind.
Yeah. Secrets
The
of the
Secrets
Millionaire
of the
Mind.
Millionaire Mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read that again in my mid-20s, and it had a
Yeah.
profound impact on decoupling, deconstructing, resetting
Mm.
beliefs that I had picked up inadvertently through my parents.
Right.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I always laugh when people are like, "Hey, my parents don't wanna," they have an issue because their parents are telling them, like, they're not supporting my dreams, and they don't want me to do this, and they don't wanna do that. I say, "Well, that's cool." I said, "Here's a question. Do you want the life your parents have?" They
Mm.
go, "Well, no." I said, "Cool. Well, then it's actually kinda silly for you to go to them for advice
Right.
because if you listen to it, I'll tell you what you'll have, the exact same life your parents have."
Exactly.
There's nothing like, I'm not saying your parents are bad people. I'm just saying if you aspire, it's like if I want to be an Olympic athlete, why would I take advice from my high school friend
For sure.
who's never stepped on a field in his life?
Yeah.
I want to get advice from other Olympic athletes.
Mm.
So to me, that book from a money point of view just reset my whole like, oh, I've been thinking about this wrong. So
Yeah.
those are the three books, that had the biggest aspect that to me gave me the success strategies and the people strategies and the money strategies so
Mm.
that I could have the foundation to then build this.
Yeah. I love those. And another one you've mentioned that I love is Keith Ferrazzi's Never Eat Alone. What are some of the strategies from that book that you apply?
I do it all the time. I did it this morning. So I will tell you this. So Never Eat Alone and Keith, I finally, 15 years, you know how they say don't meet your heroes? I met Keith and it was awesome. Like
Really?
he is,
That's
oh yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that. There's two things I believe about people is A, you shouldn't meet your heroes, and B, I'm a fan of people. Dude, I've never met Coach Burt in my life.
Yeah.
Never
That's
met him in my life. I've sent him more people. Any person that says the word Nashville, I'm like, do you know Coach Burt? You got to come check it out.
yeah.
Very, very high level people. They've become friends. They've done business together and they laugh because he's never met me. So
Wow.
tomorrow I get to hang out with him.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fan of people,
Yeah.
right? So, what was the question again?
Just so that Never Eat Alone. Just any
Never Eat Alone.
strategies.
Okay, so I read this book. I'm probably 24. It was one of the first few books I read. I started reading at 23, so I was a little late because I started as an entrepreneur at 17.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just failed for a long time. So
Mhm.
23, 24, I started reading books. I read Never Eat Alone. And here's this guy talking about just even the concept of talking to another person. I was an introverted software programmer.
Mm.
Okay,
Right.
my wealth came from building and exiting software companies.
Done.
And one of the chapters, I don't know if it was a chapter or a section, he makes an argument for working out with people you're in business with.
Wow.
And I remember reading this going, I have a hard time having a conversation with a person, let alone reaching out cold to a person, have a call with a person, let alone have a meal with a person.
Mhm.
And you're telling me that you think it's actually a good idea to go get red in the face, sweaty, work out with somebody you want to transact with,
Mm.
do commerce with.
Right.
You're wacky. Like I remember reading this going, man, you're the wackiest dude in the world. I love it. I'm never going to do it, but you're crazy.
Yeah.
Fast forward to today. I was at the gym, meeting people at the gym,
Mm.
working out with people at the gym. I honestly, 95% of the time I work out, I've got other people there. I do a hike every Tuesday. Anybody's invited from around the world. People fly in for this hike. It's an open invite. Like people are like, really anybody? I'm telling you, everybody's invited.
Mm.
6:30 in the morning, Tuesday, we hike. And it is
Yeah.
this beautiful thing we do because there's something about suffering together with people. It's
Mm.
actually probably the most powerful way to build a relationship. I'd say like working out together, suffering, going, I don't want to say going to war, but like, you know what I mean? Like CrossFit, like workouts
Yeah.
afterwards. That's why team bonding, a lot of it comes from like just working out.
Right.
Then it would be a meal. I think meals are great.
Yeah.
But if you said like which one is going to forge a deeper relationship, to me, working out.
Yeah.
So that book planted a seed. It took
Mm.
me years. It probably took me about a decade to finally get to the point where I finally invited somebody for a 5K run. Okay.
Yeah.
And afterwards I go, oh, I get it now. Okay. Maybe I
Yeah.
should do this again. As I travel, hey, I'm running in the morning. Anybody in that city want to be with me? Boom.
Mm.
And when I finally met with Keith years later in LA, down in Hollywood, he invited me to a Barry's boot camp workout.
Oh, wow.
Dude, true to his word.
Yeah. Yeah.
True to
Living
his word. And then
principles. Yeah.
afterwards we went for brunch.
Mm.
I mean, he is 100% who he is, and it was one of those books that anybody that knows me now, like, I do dinners every time I travel. I do founders dinners every night. Sometimes I'll do lunches, I do breakfasts, and it's become kind of, a part of the people strategy. It's just like,
Right.
I love people. I love understanding what their story is, and the best way to do that is take the time where I was gonna sit down and break bread anyways and invite
Mm.
people to join.
Yeah. And you mentioned being an introvert, software programmer, introvert, and I'm a former introvert too, and I'm still naturally introverted, but I've learned to be extroverted. I'm curious for you, like now you're speaking, you're doing all this content. Did that come naturally, or did you have to train yourself to do that?
You know what's fun about documenting your life is I have proof of everything I sucked at, and it's
Mm.
on the internet. So if you go
Sure.
back and you search my name and go sort reverse order oldest stuff, you will find examples of me being on stage and sucking
Mm.
and dude looking fat and
Yeah.
not, you know what I mean? Like you'll
Yep.
just see it. You'll see the evolution. You'll be like, oh,
Mm.
I thought he was always like this, high energy, charismatic. How does he tell these stories? Where did he learn to do that? No, go back. There was a time where I didn't have any of that.
Mm.
I had to work at it. I had to build the skill.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's just been my story. It's just I knew I had a desire to communicate, like I can only teach so much to the people around me on my team. I wanted
Mm.
to have a bigger impact. And the best way to do that is to get on stages, right?
Yeah.
Virtual stages, in-person stages. And I was nervous like everybody else. I remember calling up my buddy Gary, he's a professional speaker.
Mm.
I said, Gare, the time has come. It's like, what's that? I said, I want to be a speaker. I want to learn.
Mm.
And he goes, all right. And I said, what do you got for me? He goes, you ready? I said, yeah. He goes, all right, here's what you do. Anytime somebody asks you to speak, always say yes.
Mm. Yep. Get in the reps.
And I was like, okay, what else? And he goes, dude, just start there.
Mm.
I was like, come on, man. Like, what's the book? What's the strategy? He goes, you don't realize how many times you get asked to speak where you say no.
Mm.
How many times, Dan, how many weddings have you been in the last year? I don't know, 5.
Yeah.
And when they asked the people to do a toast, did you stand up? No way I did. Exactly. Right?
Yeah.
You ever been in a team meeting and somebody goes, you have any questions? And you kind of do, but you don't raise your hand because you didn't say yes.
Right.
He literally just showed me through that one example all the
Mm.
time. So what's crazy is that afternoon, okay, I was in San Francisco at the time, and the owner of the co-working space, no different than this, I was working in, came up and he said, hey man, I heard you're really good at marketing. Is there any chance you do a lunch and learn tomorrow?
Mm.
I almost punted because in the past, what I would do, and I wouldn't even know I'm doing it, I would say, oh, you know what? Mark down the hallway is actually better than,
Mm. Right.
like, dude, I'm telling you, people do this all day long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And they don't even realize it's self-sabotage for them to
Mm.
experience and grow in their skill.
Right.
So I was about to do that, and I stopped myself, and I just blurted out, "Absolutely."
Mm,
And he's like, "Cool. All right,
yeah.
tomorrow at 12." And he walked away, and I just sat there nervous
Wow.
all night. I had to deliver a talk on marketing. I've never done it before.
Yeah.
And that's just how it's began, and I just decided to wake up every day, and here's one of my big ideas I got from one of my mentors, Ed, which is our capacities expanded at our extremities.
Mm,
As an introvert, I was an introvert. I'm not anymore. I'm an extreme extrovert.
yeah.
Extreme extrovert. I call myself that on purpose when I wasn't.
Mm,
Not an extrovert, extreme extrovert.
wow.
Identity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Absolutely.
about.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had to just keep saying it and
Yes.
saying it and saying it, and guess what? I kept finding proof that I am, proof that I
Yeah.
am. And over the years, my capacity to be that, where people say, "I'm an introvert, so I can only do so much, and then I gotta recharge,"
Mm,
has flipped.
yeah.
And today, I wake up at 4 in the morning, and I will go hard until 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. When I say hard, I'm talking 7 podcasts, a lunch, a dinner,
Yeah.
meetings. I don't like, I go hard,
Yeah. Get
and
after
people
it.
see it and go, how do you even find the energy to do that? I say, "Well, I built the energy to do this."
Mm,
My capacity was expanded at my extremities.
yeah.
And every time I got there, instead of retreating back and going, "Oh, I'm burnt out, I need to slow down," I asked myself, what would need to be true for me to keep going? And it could have been, "Hey, I didn't eat properly. Hey, I didn't hydrate properly. Hey, I had meetings that sucked the energy out of me. Let's not do those anymore. Let's change those for these kind of conversations. I didn't prep properly." Like, what you literally just have to ask yourself, what would need to be true for me to accomplish this?
Mm,
Tweak it, iterate. Next time, try it again.
yeah.
Try it again.
Mm. And I totally resonate with that because I'm about to give my second TEDx talk next week.
Dude, this
And
is so
I'm doing
awesome.
it on how I overcame my fear of public speaking because I was terrified of it. And I had anchored in from early on, second grade, reading in front of class and stumbling through my words and people laughing at me, created the story of you're not supposed to speak in public. And then taking a speech class in college and having a panic attack during my speech, again, anchored in, this isn't for you. And that was a lie I believed for way too long. And I had to reprogram that to know that's not who I am. That's part of who I was, but I'm creating a new
New
story.
identity.
Yeah, the new identity. So for you, I mean, you give people hope right there. You from introvert to
Dude, I
extreme
was so when
extrovert.
you said, panic attack, let me just share this with people.
Oh,
I used to get so blotchy red in the face
mm,
that one time I was giving a talk, and I knew this would happen, and I feared that it would happen, and I took beta blockers, didn't work. I tried everything, okay? Because I
it
didn't wanna
happens.
stop. I wanted to do it, and I said, "Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just that person.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to accept it. This is what happens when I give a talk." And
Mm,
one time I was on stage, and I was giving my talk 20 minutes in, and this woman put her hand up. And I was like, "Oh, you have a question?" She goes, "I don't have a question, but I just wanted to know that are you having an allergic reaction?"
mm.
She calls it out in front of
For everybody.
everybody.
Now, if they didn't
Do you
notice it,
think
they
it
do.
made it worse? I
Yeah.
probably went from blotchy to full on red,
Mm,
and I almost gave up.
mm.
Dude, I almost gave up. I said, "Maybe I
Yeah.
just wasn't built for this."
Wow. Yeah. Well, so I want to go back. Something you said earlier, I really liked about the definite chief aim, and you could change it.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people don't set an aim because they're so
They're
freaked
worried they're
out that
wrong.
I have to, yeah, I have to go in this direction. So I want to speak to definite aim as well as you mentioned vision boards, having a vision for your life. I think a lot of people don't even have that.
It's such a great
So
question.
yeah, how do they get their vision in line, and then how do they anchor in that they can become that and shift their identity?
I love that. I can tell you're really good at this. This is a great question. Most people wouldn't understand the nuance there because there's 2 parts to this, right? There's the allowing yourself to create a vision and then also, um, having the confidence to pursue a vision.
Mm,
Because sometimes those are different.
right.
Some people feel like they have confidence and they're willing to do the work. I call those frustrated builders,
Mm,
but they don't know what they're building towards. And the problem is when people say, "I feel burnt out, I feel overwhelmed, I feel this," I honestly know what the problem is they forgot why they were doing what they're doing.
mm,
Because a big enough why will take care of any how,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You could be sitting there crushing rock and feel absolutely wasting your time because you're just crushing rock. The other guy feels absolutely on fire, awesome, energized because he knows he's building a wall that's going to become a temple for the people he cares about.
Mm,
They're both doing the same activity.
yeah.
So for me, vision is very simple. When people say, "Well, I don't know what my vision is," I say, "Well, what do you not want it to be?" You wake up in
Mm,
25 years, what do you not want? They go, "I don't
yeah.
want this, 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 this." Perfect. You now actually know what you want because it's the
Flip it.
opposite.
Yep.
So that's fun for me because like I can get people to vision really quick. Now, whether you want to accept that's what it is, now we got to talk about the second part. So for me, having a true vision, because I think people say I have a cheap aim, but they don't. A real vision is having clarity around their future to the same specificity that they can describe their present.
Mm,
So that's the filter. Can you tell me what you're going to go create to the same level of specificity, specifics, as you could tell me today? I woke up, I got 13 employees, whatever your thing is, whatever your reality is, right?
yeah.
Like, cause people like, cause I remember a woman one time, she's worked for a nonprofit. She's like, nobody gets my vision. Nobody understands what I'm building. And I'm like, well, tell me what you want to build. And she's like, I want to build the da 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 da. And I go, I don't even know what you just said. I said, but I said, tell me where you're at today. She goes, well, we have 13 employees. We have 2 locations and we do this amount of money in revenue. I go, perfect. See what you just did now? Do that for your future. See, you're mad that nobody sees your future because you haven't been describing it properly.
That's right.
So I think there's that aspect and understanding that it's not about making the right decision. A lot of people get overwhelmed because they're so worried. They're like, I mean, I get these kids, these 13, 14-year-old kids online. It's kind of awesome. Like there's literally, you can become a millionaire in your teens online. Okay.
Oh,
Is it drop shipping? Is it SMMA? Is it crypto? I don't know. All I know is that if you decide to focus on one thing and
mm,
dedicate a decade, I guarantee it'll work.
yeah.
It's actually the vehicle is not the issue, it's you deciding.
Mm,
They're worried they're gonna make the wrong decision. My philosophy is I don't worry about making the right decision, I worry about making a decision and then making it right, and
mm,
that is a different philosophy. So, all I care about is I have a vision,
yeah.
and I call it strong opinions loosely held. I know where I'm going, and if
Yeah.
I get new information that causes me to wanna course correct, that's cool. I don't change the vision. I might change the strategy, which is perfect, right? Because I think it's really important.
Yeah.
Sequencing equals success. But that's the hard part for people when they're young to figure out because they just put so much. They literally think their wealth, their future, their success is going to be binary based on choosing.
Mm,
That's zero happened in the history of humanity that
yeah.
a choice decided somebody was going to be successful. It was a million choices every
That's right.
day
Yep.
to pursue, to get back up. Those are actually more important than did I make the right decision at the beginning?
Right. Well, speaking of vision, so you've got a Wall Street Journal best-selling book, Buy Back
Soon
Your
to be
Time.
New York Times bestseller.
Hey, I love it. Soon
I've
to be
been
New York
holding that
Times.
vision for
Yeah.
over a year.
I want to talk about that because yes, you wrote it and like if anybody reads it, you can impact their life. But knowing you, I'm sure there was a vision. I want to hit New York Times. I want to make this impact. What was the vision?
I'd be lying, man, if I told you there was.
Mm,
I had a sad and small vision. I
really?
remember asking my publisher, so I signed a deal with Penguin Random House, and I asked Noah, my editor, I said, "What would make you guys happy?" You know?
Mm,
And they said, "Honestly, if you sold 4,000 copies, that would
yeah.
be really good."
Yeah.
Most authors, like, that's a good
Right.
we'd be happy. And I was like, check. Called my assistant. All right, this is the goal. This is what we're doing. Blah, 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 blah. And we started executing. And we had a strategy for 4,000 copies.
Mm,
And along the way, what happened is I started sending out the pre-release draft in PDF format to the early, like the book team, like the 100 people that were going to help us kind of. And the feedback I started getting
mm,
made me realize, no, this is too important. And then it went New York Times.
mm.
And I looked at my calendar and I restructured, my life around this launch, for 3 months,
Yeah.
moved my vacations, blah, blah, blah. So I called my friends that have all done it and they said, hey man, you were going to go on vacation for 3 weeks. Don't do that. Be available after. Press is going to call. Like if there's momentum, you want to be available in your headspace. You're just not going to be in any good place to do all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And I did that. And I've never shared this. You want to hear a crazy story?
Of course.
Had the vision for New York Times, wanted to do it. Okay.
Mhm.
Book comes out January 17th. And it's kind of like this 2.5 week campaign, right? Every week you got to hit certain numbers and know the
Yeah.
numbers. And we keep going and we keep going. And eventually I get an email. I'm driving to go on this ski trip. It's the only thing I gave myself permission to do because I do it every year. It's 48 entrepreneurs. I've been doing it for a decade. And I'm driving in the mountains. So I have no connectivity. And through the different towns, I get online, right? And we stop to get some coffee and I pull out my phone and there's an email and it says, congratulations, New York Times bestseller.
Wow.
And I'm with my buddy Roddy. Okay.
Yeah.
And I tell him we're in the car and he starts screaming, don't get it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, I'm emotional.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. Books changed my life.
Mm.
And I just wrote a book
Yeah.
that did it.
Right.
And I'm like, I can't believe it. And I call my assistant. And as soon as she answers, she goes, they messed up. I was like, what?
Oh.
She goes, it was a New York Times bestseller. They messed up. It was
Mm.
Wall Street Journal.
Okay.
No, there's a difference.
Right. Yeah.
There's a big difference.
There's
I
a
just
big
want everybody to
difference.
understand. New York Times is a completely different beast than Wall
Oh,
Street
yeah.
Journal. Somebody in their PR team made a mistake and sent that email. The worst part about this is they sent the email to the whole team.
Mm.
The whole team celebrated.
Oh, yeah. Mm.
Everybody. And I was crushed. So I didn't hit New York Times,
Mm.
and the book still did well. Wall Street Journal, number 2, right behind James Clear. He wrote an incredible book, Atomic Habits. Sells 25,000 copies every week organically for fun. It's a hard one to unsee.
Right. Right.
And for months I was like, I'm still proud, still
Yeah. It's a
happy.
huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I was like, can you get the New York Times bestseller later? And they go, yes, just about how many copies you sell.
Mhm.
And I said, you know what? I'm gonna do it.
Mm.
I think it's interesting. I think sometimes we need to disconnect timelines from our goals.
Mm. Yeah.
I think sometimes we need to hold truths about what we can accomplish, regardless if there's proof,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
just hold that belief. So
Yeah.
I have, for the last year and a half, been calling my shot. I will
Yeah.
be a New York Times bestselling author.
Mm.
Maybe it's not for that book. Now that I say it out loud, maybe it won't. Honestly, it doesn't matter to me. It's more than the fact that I set the goal.
Mhm.
And even though somebody made a mistake and
Yeah.
made me for a minute believe that I was,
Yeah.
maybe it just wasn't that timing, and it was.
Yeah.
So I show up every day,
Mm.
sharing that book, the philosophies, teaching from stages, the media stuff. And if you look at the numbers, we're actually going to hit it.
Mm. I love
I don't know when,
Yeah.
but
It's
you better
coming.
believe I'll be loud and proud when I do,
Yeah.
because it's been a journey.
Well, I'm curious because there's a lot of research too about visualization and feeling the feeling before it happens.
100%.
You got to experience the feeling before it happened
Yeah.
because you were told, "Hey, this happens." You felt that feeling. Is that something you tap into that you feel as a New York Times bestseller?
This is how I do my visualization. When you're asking me earlier, what is different about my approach is, and again, I worked with my coach, Ed Milet. He's a
Mhm.
brilliant man, and he talks about it. It's called sensory acuity.
Mm.
And I don't want to give too much because it's his proprietary framework. He gave me permission to coach my private clients on this stuff.
Yeah.
But the big idea is that instead of just having like a kind of a flat vision board,
Mm.
you literally, not only do you have to go in it, you got to go all over. If anybody wants to Google, Ed talked about it I interviewed him for my podcast,
Yeah.
and I asked him and he said anything and he went into it. So he actually shared it there. So, but like 90%, there were still some nuances.
Yeah.
But the big idea is definitely feeling, because I believe that our frequency, our energy is what we frequently see. Okay. So the world out there isn't how it actually is, it's how you experience it.
Yeah.
So think about that. The world is like, people are like, oh, the world is bad. Yep. You'll find proof that it's bad. Other people, for me, for you, I think the world is full of abundance and opportunity.
That's right.
Guess what I find all day? Abundance and opportunity. So the world isn't as it is, it's as you are. And the energy, my frequency that I'm putting out there is what I will see. It's what I'll frequently see. So if I want to manifest, if I want to create, then I have to live in the energy of achievement.
Mm.
So like my philosophy is, like, people are like, I ask them, Sam's a great example. He's always with me. Okay. Do you have time? Can I tell this story?
Let's do it.
All right. So here's my big idea is you need to know what you want. We talk about primary aims. So I teach this. Anybody who works on my team, I teach them goal setting, vision setting, etc. And what he did is he had on his phone his vision board.
Yep.
Top left corner of his phone was his dream car. Okay. A
Mhm.
white Porsche GT4.
Yeah.
Okay. And I would always ask him to look at it. And he would always look. I mean, it's on his phone. It's his wallpaper.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
And I would explain to him this concept, like, dude, you have to get in that headspace. You got to feel as if you already own it. You got to act as if you own it. It's not doing the things to then get it. You literally have to kind of pull your future into your current reality by the energy of belief that just being there. It's kind of crazy. It's almost like you got to walk around acting like you got $10 million in your bank account, even if you don't.
That's right. Yeah.
And that energy will pull into the opportunities to create that $10 million in your bank account.
Yeah.
So he did this. He did this. He kept doing it. He showed up. He worked his butt off. He built a media company with me. I mean, we literally, it's not even been a year. There's a team of 15 people. We're an 8-figure company. It's bananas.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, I wanted to bless him.
Wow.
And one day I had the privilege of surprising him.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. It was only a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
And we walked in. I have a car collection, and I told my guy, I said, hey, let's pretend we're going to go look at some cars. And we did. I said, hey, Sam, I need you to come real quick. We just landed at the, I have a plane. So we just landed and we were driving home, and I was going to drop him off. I said, hey, I got to stop in real quick. So he's with me, and we're going around, and he noticed the car. And we went around.
On my vision board.
Yeah, he's like, hey, man, that's my car.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Why is it sitting there on the platform like that?
Yeah.
And then I started talking to my sales rep, Kosa, and I just said, hey, man, let me tell you about Sam. And I just started telling him about all the things I love about him.
Yeah.
And I said, I know you would never do this for yourself. So I did, and I gave him the keys.
Wow.
And that to me, like, I've bought myself a lot of cool things. Not even touching that experience.
Yeah.
Man, doing stuff for other people that like are willing to support your dreams and just do good with it. So I remember I said 2 things. One, you have to post every day. I want you to share, inspire other people through this. So those are the 2 agreements. It's your car.
Yep.
Post every day about the Porsche. Okay. It's a
Yep.
beautiful Porsche. You know what GT4 is?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Great car.
you let me drive it? Jean-Claude Van Damme, that's a great car.
You're right. Right.
2, anytime a kid sees you and lights up, you have to stop. You have to stop. You got to give him a chance.
Yeah.
And true to his word, man, he's been doing it. He's probably gone, this is a couple of weeks, probably gone through 50 tanks of gas and probably another set of tires. But it's been awesome to watch. But yeah, I think, what he did is he held that frequency. Now, and I didn't know I was ever going to buy him a car. Like that's not, I don't go around buying people cars all the time.
Right. Yeah.
But I love that he got in that space. He visualized it. He believed it. He looked at it. He mapped it. He actually, if you watch the video, you can tell he knew something was up, and he'll tell you, he thought I was going to force him to buy it. That's like,
right,
when you
now's
see
the
his face,
time.
and like, oh, he looked like he knew it was up.
Yeah.
He just thought, oh, this is where Dan goes, you need to buy the car.
Yep. Now's the time.
That's where people are like, it looks like he knew. No, he thought I was going to say, like, here's the contract. Sign it.
Yep.
And buy the car.
Wow.
But I just think people don't go test drive their dreams. Test drive their dreams, man. If you want to live in a mansion, go in the mansion. Call a real estate guy. Say, hey, man, not yet, but at some point I will buy this house. Can you please bring it to me? You want to go you want to own a GT4? Go sit in it today, please.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yep.
Like, go test drive your dreams. Like, I flew around and I sat in private jets before I ever bought my first plane.
Wow.
Like, just do that.
Yeah.
Be in it. Feel it. Allow yourself to like get familiar with the frequency. Like just getting familiar so that it's not so foreign is so powerful.
Yeah.
That's what we got to do so we got to do at our vision board.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Ed Milet, so I was at a baseball game here in Nashville with a friend of mine that helped him with his book launch. And the day that Ed got the news, he
Rory
hit USA.
Vaden?
Yeah, Roy Vaden.
I'm speaking of thing today at
Oh,
lunch.
that's awesome. Yeah, so he's an awesome dude. And we were sitting there, he gets a text from Ed that we hit USA today. And it was cool to be there and witness them get to celebrate together.
Yeah.
And that brings me to a question for you. It's one thing that you have the success and you have the money and you can get around high-level people. You've been with Richard Branson, Mark Cuban, and all the people. But what about the people, they don't have the success yet? They don't have the money. How can they start leveling up their relationships at that point?
You said it, man. It's the comma yet. It's yet. They got to believe they're worth it. See, nobody's going to have a relationship like an Ed Milet until you feel you deserve it. Right. Or
That's right.
Justin or Dan. And it's not like we're not available. Dude, I invited everybody to come hike with me on a Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to say the mountain's so full that it's like we're ants marching up and down this thing, but it's not.
Right. Yeah.
The invite's there. So I know it's not a problem with I'm not the proximity. No. You don't believe you can. So it's actually starting off by believing you deserve it. You're worth it. You can show up and be more interested.
Yeah.
Don't worry about being interesting.
Yeah.
Because that's what stops people. They're like, I didn't earn it yet. I'm not that. Why would he want to say yes to meeting with me? There's 100 reasons I say yes to people. I say yes to people all the time because it's a friend of mine's cousin. I say yes all the time because this person posted something on their social media that they didn't know I saw, and I saw that, and I said, I want to root for that person. I'll say yes for just because I was in a mood that day of just blessing people randomly. Like, dude, I will literally, people messaging me, I'll be like, what's your cell? And I'll call them. And they, I can't believe you just called me. I said, I know. I talked to a woman for 90 minutes in Australia because I was just so inspired by her story and what she was trying to create. And I was driving between, I was in Scottsdale heading to Sedona. Never made it to Sedona, but I wanted to. I had to turn around. But I just talked to her the whole time. And she couldn't believe it. Why would you do this? You're a busy guy. You wrote a book about buying back your time. I said, I don't know, but I just listened to my creator. I don't know. I literally, somebody asked me, how do you do this relationship stuff? And I said, I just listen to my heart. If somebody comes onto my heart, I say yes. If I'm chatting with somebody, I just feel it. I just say yes. And oftentimes I'll say no. And that's just how it is.
Yeah.
I just think most people don't shoot their shot.
Right.
Any person right now listening to this knows somebody that's more successful than them. I want you to invite them out for lunch.
Wow.
Say, I know you don't need me to buy you lunch, because don't offer to buy me coffee. I don't need your coffee.
Yeah.
Start by saying in reality, I know you don't need me to buy you coffee, but I admire your work and I would love 17 minutes. I will come to you in between meetings. I will sit in your lobby until you have something that cancels. I'll do that day over day until you're free. Because that's how much I honor, and I want to ask you a few questions. I don't know anybody in the world, if somebody said it that way, that wouldn't say yes. I don't care if you're The Rock or you're Oprah. If somebody said, I will fly to you. Now, you got to do it in a way that doesn't sound creepy. As soon as I said that, that sounded a little bit much. But you know what I mean? Like, I will, do you have anything going on, an event? I'd love to go. And if you have a chance afterwards, no pressure expectations, love to shake your hand.
Yeah. That's powerful.
I think people could do that for even their wealthy friend in their peer group, their uncle or cousin they haven't reached out to. It doesn't have to be somebody notable on the internet. It actually shouldn't be. You should get really comfortable and familiar with the energy of really successable people.
That's right.
Because they're different.
Yeah.
A lot of people call us crazy. I just call us the normal.
Right.
Everybody should come hang out. Fun.
Yeah. Well, we're running out of time. I didn't even get to dive into the book yet.
It don't
which I love this
matter.
conversation. And I'm actually going to do some videos, the lessons that I've learned from this book, because there's so many in here. I'm curious, who did you write it for? Why did you write it? And why should people read it?
Yeah, real quick. I wrote that book for a very specific entrepreneur, okay? 1.6 million in revenue, 12 employees. You know you have more to give, but you've caught yourself in a situation where the more you grow, the more it hurts. Okay. Now it works for people starting off that are creatives that want to start a podcast, and it works for 9-figure CEOs. The buyback loop framework works. The principle of don't hire to grow your business, hire to buy back your time works for, I coach people, publicly traded companies, people that are doing every level. But who did I write it for? I wrote it for the person that I know might give up on their dreams because it got too hard, not because they're not willing to do the work, but because they built it wrong. And once you see the framework, especially the replacement ladder, and you understand it, and I give you the buyback rate, it's kind of like once the mind expands, it can't contract. Once you see it, you'll go through your day going, oh man, I'm doing that thing again. And you'll start adjusting and fixing. And that's the person. Because I used to be that person.
Right. Yeah.
I was driven, I was determined, I was willing, I was obsessed. And I created a lot of emotional shrapnel in my life over it because I didn't understand how to look at my time through the lens that I teach in that book.
Yeah. And I just had a conversation with an entrepreneur on Monday, and they were struggling. And I just texted them, like, how committed are you to changing your situation? And they said, I'm really committed. My concern is time. And you're the guy that wrote the book, Buy Back Your Time. Is that a common thing you see with entrepreneurs that don't have the time?
Yeah, and this is what's funny. When they say that to me, I go, that's exactly why you should lean in. Like, perfect. I'm glad you acknowledge that. That is the reason why today is the day that we change things and you make it committed. Because it's not that we don't have the time. We don't understand how to get the time. We don't know how to renegotiate expectations. Most people don't even know where they're wasting time.
Yeah.
Like, even for me, the number one skill that I continue to hone is understanding how to analyze my calendar to create more.
Mm,
I have the ability for unlimited creation if I can get better at understanding where my time needs to be allocated.
yeah.
And I'm still at my level trying to figure it out. I sit down with my assistant 3 times a year and we do the whole time and energy audit. Right? I go through the buyback loop and I literally go, okay, I'm spending too much time here. That's not where I need to be doing. I got to hire these. I do the transfer and then I go to the fill. Okay, now that I've got this time back, what do I fill it up with? Okay, only this. Okay, let's execute that for 3 months. Let's see how that transfers, right? Like I
Yeah.
use the systems in the book all the time because time's one of those things that we all have the exact same amount of. I don't care if you're a billionaire or you're broke.
Right.
Time is all you have. Nobody's got more. So the only thing that changes is what we do with that time. And broke people will spend time to save money. Wealthy people, rich people will spend money to buy
My
time.
time. Yeah.
Think about that right there.
All right. Yeah. Well, final question. What drives you today?
I wake up every day knowing that my life's purpose is very simple: to continue to strive to become the person that my creator created me in his image. I believe in that. I'm a person of faith. I'm incredibly spiritual. For those that aren't, just call it your 10.0 self. What
Mm,
would the person at all levels think about all your best moments where you had confidence, you had kindness, you had drive, you had empathy, all that stuff? Take the 10.0 version of you and put it into one person, but the whole day, the consistent version of you. What would happen if the 10.0 person of you showed up every day? I know everything.
mm,
So I wake up every day to strive to do that. That's step one. But step two is as I'm doing that, I'm sharing what works with me with the world. I
mm,
give it all away. When I take my last breath, I will die empty. It will literally be, when people say they have regret, zero regret.
mm,
I live a regret minimization strategy on a daily basis.
mm.
So that's what drives me is I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing it because every time I upgrade to a new version of me, I get to share what I just learned with anybody that's watching. Turns out 36 million people last month.
All right.
And it's going to keep going up. And I just don't know anything else I'd want to do with my time.
Yeah. Well, this has been a great conversation. If you want more of him, go follow him. Where's the best place they can consume it?
Instagram. Yeah, and
Instagram?
you know what? For your audience, if people want my internal standard operating procedure for my executive assistant,
Mm,
message me EA Justin, okay?
okay.
And I will send them the internal Google Doc direct link, no opt-in, no nothing. But you
Right.
got to follow me on Instagram, Dan Martel, 2 L's of Martell. Message me EA Justin. I'll know you heard it on the podcast.
Yep.
And I will get my assistant to sanitize. It's like 42 pages. Take all the personal stuff out, and I'll just send them a link to that.
Yeah. And we didn't get to that, but you said a personal assistant or executive assistant is the first hire most people should make, right?
It's the first one in the replacement ladder.
Yeah. So you got to get that. So Dan, thank you so much for being on the Mindset Doctor podcast.
It's an honor. Thank you.